Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. It's good to be here. Glad to see you guys. As always, before we get started, make sure you subscribe over here to the podcast. That's what we love. It's going to help us grow the podcast. Make sure you share it. Take the share link, put that on your social media, put it on the Facebook. That's going to help people see us because we're not going to do it on our own. We need your support, babies. That's how we're going to make this thing happen. So make sure you do all that. And our guest today is the very funny, a man we love very much. His name is Corey Knox, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him. Hey, Corey.
Thank you.
Man.
Thanks for being here, dude.
No problem.
We don't know how to start the podcast yet. I think I'm going to quit doing music at the front and just start talking the way we were talking to get started. I think that's a way better thing to do.
Yeah, even if you just had the audio on from what we were just...
Oh, I did. I recorded for like 12 minutes, you know.
Of us before?
Oh, yeah. So we have all that stuff in there, but it's I probably won't use any of it. But yeah, who knows how to start a podcast?
Oh, that sucks. Because I was like, we could talk about this stuff because what we were getting into was good.
Yeah, we can go back. We talk about whatever. I mean, I didn't plan to use any of it.
I think you should be like laying in your bed.
There should be a shot.
Yeah.
I thought of doing an animation of me. I want to do the logo is like space and the logo comes together.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the bed under the covers and animated me. And I get out and I just and I put on my hoodie and then it fades out and it's me doing the thing at the beginning.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was actually going to be in your room, like legit. I'm like, this is tight.
People are
cool.
surprised. They come in here and it's like, oh, you sleep right there.
Yeah.
I plan to not do it that way. I was going to have an office, but then everybody I live with has to work from home now, so they had to have an office. They're like, you can't have your office to do your fucking playground podcast thing. So we have our real jobs we have to do. So I had to relinquish the office.
I like it, but if you ever bring a chick here, it's gonna be like, or when you do, they're like, there's no way they're not gonna think you're a conspiracy theorist.
I think it's obvious what I'm doing in here, though.
Not really.
It's not.
No, it is.
I'm nervous that people will come in and be like that it's a pornography OnlyFans situation, right? But the cameras are like, there's chairs and a table and I have there's an audio setup.
Yeah.
Before the first setup with the chairs and the green screen and the cameras
You
were on
just
the
had a
back
couch.
wall. Yeah, it was like, what's happened? The whole middle was open.
Yeah.
So it was like, what is going on in here?
Yeah.
But like the cameras are all mounted. I think it looks like a...
No, it's good.
It is weird. It's weird to... it needs to be more of a shtick, I think, if it's going to succeed. That it's like, I never leave here.
Yeah, you're just always here.
I need to get like a kitchen, like a fake kitchenette set up or something over here.
That.
Yeah, like a playhouse with those like KB Toys situations, Fisher Price.
I'm down with it, dude. No, I like this. The whole thing is great. I didn't listen from the beginning, but I listened. Matt Taylor's podcast, like his, got me hooked. Because I mean, you got him to think about committing suicide in church, so I was like, I'm fucking in on that.
There's a major theme in this podcast that he brought up.
I know.
It's crazy that he brought it up. You're bringing it up. Everybody's gonna bring it.
No,
you come into my space where I sleep, and everybody's like, "Dude, killing yourself is on the. It's
thing,
in the
dude.
space."
Yeah,
that's tough. Well, thank you. And that's ladies and gentlemen.
That's going to be all the time we have.
Nah, man. Thanks for being here, though. Tell everybody who you are. If you have anything you need to plug, I know you're at the Comedy Bar this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee.
I am.
I don't know if you want people to be there, but I want them to be there for you.
I mean, it's sold out already because there's like 10 seats. So
I saw the tickets were like $40 to $80.
Yeah,
that's like the low, which is pretty
price gouging.
You think that's going to be the standard for
I think
comedy
people
now?
are going to be mad after the show. They're like, we paid for this fucking guy.
Oh my god!
Oh,
like $40 to $80.
I feel like I'm gonna have to pay people after. They're gonna give people money back after the show after my set.
I think you're gonna be the highlight of the show. No. I think so.
Tonight's gonna be a good show. It's like a lot of the local guys. It'll be a good show. We had a show there last week that I technically headlined, but I just finished the showcase out, and it was actually fun. It was good. Everyone did well. So like, for what it is right now, I think it's cool. I don't want to be inside, but if it's the state is allowing it, I'm kind of cool with it.
So the shows are inside
just because of the weather.
Yeah, just for weather.
You know. So I mean, yeah, man, we'll be there. Tonight is sold out. Tomorrow, there's probably still some tickets left. So if you want to get out there, and watch some comedy. I know there's some shows happening at local places all around. Matt Taylor was talking about, he's running a lot of the independent mics and stuff, and I think that's cool. I can't do the Zoom stuff.
It's horrible.
Dude,
right?
The thought of bombing in like 5 different or 15 different homes at once or however many is like, that's the one reason why I'm just like, I can't, I can like bomb in like a room or like a building, one place, and
then you
fine.
can get out
and
of
then
there.
I just can leave that place. But to know that I'm affecting people's lives like there's like a couple like trying to go to bed and they're like, I can't believe he was that bad. Or
you bring the ghost to your you want everybody to be able to escape.
Dude, that's
not just you. Everybody's like, let's get out it. Let's air it out where
Yeah.
I was at.
So I'm not doing that.
Well, don't be so self-dep with it, dude. You're great. You have one of the best opening bits. I don't know if you still do it. You're probably still doing it.
I think I do.
Yeah. I don't want to do your material on the podcast, but I love your opening bit. It's so funny.
Thanks, man.
Because I know that like you're like a big, strong-looking guy, and I don't know your experience with comedy, but I bet it's like some people don't give you a chance as much off the rip, and when you do that joke, that's like the best like last. It's like. They don't. It's like so many curveballs at the same time, and I hate to talk about a joke that you get, but you got to go see Corey Knox do comedy so you can hear.
I appreciate that, man. No, that is obviously what I'm trying to do with that bit, and I'm learning, still trying to write and do better. But I've found that when I can shit on myself enough at the beginning of a set, it gives me a little bit of credibility to have some fun with the audience and maybe make fun of them. If not, I just look like a dickhead up there. Because look at me, I just look like an asshole.
Yeah, it's weird how judgmental people can be with comedy. It's like attractive, in shape looking dudes and women. People are like, don't give as much of a chance.
Don't care. Yeah, it is in a way. It's not harder. Comedy is hard across the board, no matter who you are. So like, but you have to, whoever you are, you have to figure out. You have to be You have to think about and be, aware of what you look like. Whether it's wherever it is, and you have to develop your stuff from that. If you don't, you're kind of missing out on the nuances and the elements. Because the first thing that people do when you come out, they look at you and they judge you based on what you're saying, but also what you look like. So
yeah, you have to be aware, I think, of the judgments that people are gonna put. Even though you don't, it's like nobody wants to be judgmental, right? But it's like you have to when you're gonna do comedy. I think they're going to judge you so much. So they judge you like 7 to 12 seconds they're going to adjust their opinion on what you're doing, Yeah. So if you have to be aware if they're going to like judge you for being, you look like this, you look like some people get weird shit because they wear like a suit on stage. Yeah. And people are like, I hate comics that wear a suit, but, or like comics that sit on the stool. They're like, why are you sitting? So it's like all this, you choose, but you can choose those things, but this is like, you're not choosing to be an in shape guy. It just probably happens.
I mean, I kind of am. I still work out like I'm playing sports, even though I'm not, which is weird because it doesn't matter how much I bench anymore. Like it's not going to make people laugh more.
How much do you bench?
I hate this question.
I would never have asked you.
No. Whatever I want.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
a great answer.
Yeah, it's such a dick.
I love that though.
No, it's not. I used to bench a good amount. Now I just work out to just move some blood through my body. But if we're gonna get technical, at one point I was benching like 475. But
Jesus Christ, what weighs 475 pounds in everyday life? Is there something you can compare it to?
475.
Like a motorcycle?
I mean, a really light motorcycle or like a moped, maybe.
Like a Ducati?
Yeah. Something that like Matt Boyd would ride around on.
Like 10 Matt Boyds? Something that's the size of 10 Matt Boyds?
Everything is the increment of Matt Boyds.
That's so funny. We were at this thing yesterday at that orchard. We saw those little kids. I wish I had the Matt Boyd episode that didn't fail.
I heard about that.
But but he's so skinny. You were like, look at those little children. And Matt Boyd's over there with those kids. Yeah. That was a horrible. You had to be there.
Yeah. And I shouldn't. He's such a funny well, here's the thing. He's so funny and he's so good at making fun of me all the time that when I do get the little opportunity to, I take it. I feel bad doing it, but he's so funny all the time and he's good at everything.
Yeah, he's like king of the riffs.
Yeah, he's fucking brilliant.
He's riff master, dude. He's out there like shredding.
So I feel, it's weird because I feel bad when I get a good one on him, but I'm like, I shouldn't feel bad. He crushes everyone.
He's out there with his samurai sword all the time. He's cutting people to shreds. Some of those guys are like that. Him and Chance are like that. Yeah. Corey Perry's kind of like that. But I love, that's like, I like that that's their style. I like to hang out with them and see them just like, somehow they never really fuck with me though. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is with me.
Well, it's because you run the fucking sound.
Well, no. People try to tell me that. People tell me that, but I'm like, there's no way that's it. I really don't. If that's the case, I really hope that's not why people don't fuck with me. Because I'm in my before I moved to Tennessee and worked at the comedy club, everywhere I go in life, people fuck with me. Like, people that are the waiters, like it's weird. Like everybody in my family, everybody like rips on me, so I'm used to it. And then I get into the comedy scene. I was kind of like strapped up. I'm like, all right, let's go to riff war against these guys. I see how they do each other.
And they're just chilling.
And nobody ever everybody's just going in on each other, and I never get any of the hate.
I feel like you got a little with Zach Townsend on it via social media that one time, right? When? Weren't you guys going at it in the bake or something?
I don't remember.
Oh, I think I remember. It was really funny, actually, because you roasted his tattoos, which very valid.
What did I say?
I mean, yeah, don't have any of those except the one with your mom on the arm. That's the only one. The rest of them, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I have no tattoos.
I don't either, and he shouldn't. But you roasted one of his tattoos, I think, in the bake, and then he came back and did. I think he did like a picture of you doing the yonder bag thing, and then what is it, dude? Like, look it up. It's fucking if you could
on my Facebook.
Yeah.
You talk for a second here. Let me get on.
Yeah.
The computer.
It was really funny. I mean, I shouldn't even.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember this, but now I'm excited to see.
It's really funny.
I'll have to add. I'll put it in the thing in post. Let's see, Facebook.com. So someone probably had to have posted. Did I come out of the blue posting about his tattoos?
I think no, because that doesn't sound like
that doesn't sound like maybe I did.
But it might have
though.
been. It might have been.
Zach Townsend.
And there was like this little beef for a little bit, and I was like, "This is fucking hilarious."
I never was beefing. Maybe I did.
Not
but
beef, but like
no. Maybe you're right. Because when I saw him in person one time, I maybe was anticipating is there going to be beef?
Yeah.
But then I was just was squashed.
He's a teddy bear.
Well, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I think I was.
Well.
Maybe
Let's
I'm
not
remembering.
Push it, dude. He sucks.
You
Zach
guys are
Townsend
kind of like
sucks.
you guys are like the Twin Towers of Nashville comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Whatever.
Tattoo. I'm a horrible. I need a producer so bad, dude. There's this little kid Max that works at the comedy club with me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make him come be my producer, so I don't have to do this shit.
Yeah, I don't even know how to. Everyone's cool with the things, like how they're moving it, and like I don't even know. Like, I haven't done a podcast to know like,
all
how
the
to,
time and just do this and get the shit right, just to move with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good with it.
But I'm like
an idiot.
No, dude, you're good. You're doing so good. You don't have to do that much. But I kind of
Is this
move
clip?
like real
Is this-
fluid. Yeah, it's
where
real
should
good. I kind
You
of
shouldn't
put
your
the
nose on it, right?
You can do whatever you want. Not the nose.
I
'cause
figure
then
like
you're under.
you do like a nose length. I have a big nose, so maybe I'm too. But like nose length and then
I
up,
kind of
and then
put my chin on the phone.
You do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I kind of feel you don't have to. I'm just saying this is my microphone and no one talks into
Yeah.
it. But that's how I know that I'm the right distance is because it's like
you're right on there.
when I do it on stage. These are the same microphones used on stage. It's nothing special. I just make them look real nice.
See, I get why people press it to their shit like that, but like it's also like when I see that as a comic, I'm like, ugh. Because like they're sweating into it and kind of spitting into it more, and then it's on their skin, and I'm like, that's gross.
It's different now, dude. I'm changing everything. Somebody made a joke to me the other day about going to a buffet, and I was like, dude, that's just unrealistic.
Oh no, yeah.
I can't find any. It's been deleted from the internet. Whatever
it might
happened.
not even. Anyways, it was funny. I think he roasted.
Do you remember what he said to me? He said something about me doing the everybody roast me for the yonder bag thing though.
Yeah, but it was like he put it in context of like because you had been doing some open mics and stuff, and he like put it like. This is his open mic or something. I can't remember what the fuck.
I hope that those never come back because of the coronavirus.
Yeah,
because it's such a tough reputation to have, honestly, for me. Like that I didn't anticipate. Well, because here's the thing: I'm at the club. For people that don't know, I go on stage at the comedy club and I have to go up cold in front of every show.
Yeah.
Every show.
You're the real opener. You're the true opener.
I mean, and I just go up there but I don't do jokes. They don't know what's gonna happen. I just go up there and give them.
There's just a guy out there.
Yeah, so you have to figure out how to give these people rules. What we talked about, people judging you and shit. Like for 2 minutes, I got to do like a material where I get them on my side about not using their cell phones.
Yeah, which is impossible.
Yeah, and they just at the club they were like, we need someone to do this, and no one would do it. So I was just like, I'll just do it because I also like at that time I was experiencing a lot of stage fright, like to go on stage.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at it. I was like, well, I just have to go up there and say some shit about these phones.
Yeah.
And not be funny and just get good with remembering how to say some shit and look comfortable and not even be funny. That's all I have to work with. So I was kind of like, this is good for me.
This is the first public speaking thing to get you into it.
And you get to go up in front of every audience. Nobody's in there. Sold out country white people, sold out like Bruce show. So like every different kind of people. So you get to see how they're going to treat you when you walk out. Also, when you walk out in the worst situation, they're all having their drinks eaten before the lights come down or anything.
Sure.
And I just go up, I'm like, what's up, everybody? What's going on? And I'm like, nah, come on. We're going to do this. I have to act like I'm about to host the show, and then I don't ever do jokes.
Right. And they're like, that was weird.
And then I leave.
Couldn't they just told the first comic to do that shit? Like,
well, that's why I do it, though, is because you being a comic, you know.
Yeah. Adding more things to what you already have to think about as a host is like, I can barely get the guy's name out half the time.
It's the worst shit ever to have to go up there and have the pressure of like, think about who the host is. It's a younger person that's trying to get their they're trying to worry about doing their material well.
Yeah.
And they're probably younger in the game.
Yeah.
Or whoever they are. And then they have to remember like a list of 3 different weekend dates with the headliner's name and the exact numbers.
Yeah.
And then the thing about do the comment cards and get on the email list and remember to stay off your cell phones. And it's like, all right, now y'all ready to have a good time with my jokes?
It's just too much in between.
To stack and sometimes I see comics come in that aren't local and host.
Yeah.
And we give them our have you ever gotten the announcement sheet at the club?
The legit sheet. Yeah.
You don't. That shit is from 1985.
It really is, dude.
It's like it gives you jokes on. It's like try these jokes. Like who got herpes and anybody celebrating a herpes test? It's like what the fuck is this piece of paper? And some people don't know.
Is that why Connor Larson's still using that?
No. Oh no.
No, I'm just kidding. He's great.
No, that's very funny. That joke in there. He has a similar joke in his act to the joke that's on that paper, and I defend him to the death over that though, because I don't. He's my friend, but
he's my
that's
friend.
Very funny. You said that. I'm not editing it out.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll never work in this town again. But that's
You're never working at a brewery in this town again.
Shit.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
But that sheet, some comics come in from out of town and it's their first time hosting at the club and they're young like that and they want to make a good impression. So they go out there and end up doing like 3.5 minutes of the announcements.
Oh, no.
And I feel so bad for them that I'm like, I look at them and I have to light them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know they have no idea how much time is left. They don't know what to do in their act and they have this drowning kind of energy.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad for it. And afterwards I want to be like, hey, dude. Never do. No one's even gonna watch.
Yeah,
like no
dude,
one's even gonna see you do it.
Yeah.
Some clubs would. Some clubs, like if they really care about the comment cards and the email list, and if it, I don't know, but you can get that sense.
Yeah.
If they don't talk to you about it implicitly.
Yes.
And then they'll still give you a chance. Like if you're doing multiple shows.
Yes.
They'll come up to you after and be like, hey man, you need to do and it's like okay.
I think the best thing is try your best to work in like those ideas with your jokes if you can. A couple times I did like a Yazoo show and I was just by the end of the show I was supposed to say all this stuff and I was just fucking hammered and I was like I'm not remembering any of this shit because at the end of the Yazoo shows you have to do all that, you have to do a vote by fucking crowd vote. It's just
that's the weirdest thing because it's also the Yazoo thing is most people's first time hosting in a club like if it maybe at all or for sure one like Zany's. So you're like you had won the Yazoo before, or Lucy likes you and she's giving you a chance to like have a spot at the club to see if she might want to let you host on the weekday or something. Yeah. So like, it's you have to go up at first, and most of the time I feel so bad. Like the people that win the Yazoo and they kill when they come back and host, it's like the energy is weird.
It's different
because no one knows what the show is, and everyone is there to support just the person. That show is really kind of ugly for me. I don't like those kind of shows. It's kind of It's just because they'll bring in some comic that's like not. I mean, it's good that everybody gets their chance.
Sure.
And everybody needs to get their chance at the club.
I agree.
But some person that's just on the lineup will bring like 85 people, and somebody will crush, and they end up beating them in the vote because the people are and it's like, or the host. I don't know what's going to the host will get the vote wrong. Yeah. And obviously this person won by audience vote and they'll be like, all right. And everybody's like, what?
It's controversial. And it's talked about in the scene forever. And I don't have friends because of it.
It's not even that. Sometimes, no, I didn't know if that happened. I didn't see yours. I wasn't there for
the first Yazoo, it was stacked with like great people that are way funnier than me. Like the whole show was just fucking a great lineup. And I had quite a few people come, but I also felt like I had a pretty decent set. But other people had great sets as well. And I don't know, you can never tell if someone else should or shouldn't have. But whatever I didn't even want to win. I wanted to do well, but I wanted people that have been doing comedy longer that I thought were funnier than me to win. And I did have I was loose, man. It was one of the loosest shows ever. Like, till this day, I was just like fucking feeling good, and it went great, and I won the vote. But like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like the show in all from front to back, like pretty much no one bombed. Everyone was hilarious, and like. To me, that's like what it's about.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? So sometimes
whatever.
Sometimes those shows can be really fun, and sometimes they can be a little bit awkward. But I've been on a couple of them that were like really good, and the crowds were like, for just people showing up for no one, not knowing anyone, like they had a great time, and like people would be like, "This was great." So I think it's good.
You did 2 host sets after that at the club. You did the Yazoo hosting it, and I saw it, and you did very well. Like, who did you host for? That wasn't associated with the Yazoo thing.
I hosted for Pat McGann and Des Bishop during Bonnaroo.
Okay.
Last year, so like it was like.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like a highly attended. Pat McGann is very funny.
Oh, he's hilarious.
That guy
and like,
rules.
dude, Like it was cool. The opportunity was incredible. But I just wished, because I had done so many shows there that like there was a great attendance, and I was like, I felt comfortable. I was like, I can do this, And then not a lot of people were in town. People were at Bonnaroo, and we just didn't get a great turnout for whatever. It was like a Wednesday or a Thursday show. And I struggled a little bit like hosting, and I mean, till this day, I'm like, fuck, what did I do wrong? But I'm like, it's kind of tough sometimes when there's not enough people. It's spread out, like it's a big room. But when that room when that room is at like a certain amount, it's the best fucking room. And same with stand-up. I mean, you go there and you're just like, when you get those laughs, you're just like, oh, this is fucking incredible.
It's crazy what you learn about comedy from the stage when you're on it.
Yeah.
Like what people wouldn't know otherwise. Like it's so hard to perform in front of a few people. Like it's just the energy is it's just a game of exponents. Like if you tell a joke that gets like medium laughs, if there's 12 people, it's not going to make a very loud noise. But if there's 300 people, it's going to make a louder. So it's like, and people laugh more because other people laugh, and it gets this wave going.
I've had some of my worst jokes like do well at like stand up live, and I listen back to the audio and I'm like, why the fuck were they laughing at that? Like it wasn't that good, but like it's contagious and people are feeling good and like it all, But at a smaller club, you can have a few less people and like be a little bit more intimate and like hear someone or talk to someone or do a little bit of crowd work, and it's like it's totally different vibe.
Yeah,
so it just depends.
Confidence is just very different when you're like the room is full.
Yeah,
you want to, even if the room is like a third coast, it's like I don't know how many people are in there, 50, 80 people, maybe
70, 80. Yeah,
it's like it's not even about the amount of people. It's just like filling the room.
Filling the room. Yeah,
you could have a room that has 20 seats in it, as long as the room's full and it's supposed to have 20 seats.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah,
that's just like, that's the best thing to know about comedy is like that's what people don't understand, like doing that stupid yonder bag announcement. I would much rather go up there in front of a sold out like Bob Saget audience than go up there on Wednesday night in front of like 30 people. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know, it feels better. And once you get their attention, it's I don't know, it's such a counterintuitive thing if you're not involved in any kind of, if you've never been in like a public speaking arena like that, like been on that side of it. It's so crazy, man.
It is a wild thing. One of the best open mics that I think was ever in town was at it's not because it was at Tin Roof, but like they had this little arcade room in the back, and they were running the open mic back there, but it's a room that seats like legitimately 20 people, and like 3 or 4 times we actually had it packed out with people, and it was like it felt like this room, but just like packed, and it was like the coolest show ever. And like I was like, I kind of want to do like a show there and like make it like there's only 20 tickets, so like make it like a thing, because that's like a cool environment to do stand up that's different than a big club, and you learn more every single time you're doing stand up at a different place or a different venue. You just learn, and that's what I love about it. But the one time you did the yonder bag announcement, you said I'm the greatest comedian in the world.
Were you there?
Like, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, it was really funny.
That was Andrew-Signee. Do you know the story about that?
I vaguely remember.
Oh, dude, I wish he would release. They filmed that from like 4 different angles, right?
Yeah.
Because he had been. Everybody makes fun of me. You could imagine the headliner. I have to. This is the more complicated part that people don't get, is that every comedian that headlines has some horror story about. They show up to a club and they have some in-house host or a server or even an owner or manager that wants to be a stand-up.
Yeah.
And they try to get their way on the stage during shows.
Sure.
Right? So I'm kind of put in a situation where I have to go back in the green room and let them know. They don't know this is coming. And comedians they don't want people going up on stage that they don't know about that's involved in the show. Yeah. So a lot of people that greet me with this thing of when I tell them what I'm going to do, they think I'm going to go up there and try to do an act or something, right?
Yeah.
So I have to go back there and talk every week, like talk to some celebrity headliner comedian and be like, that's not what's going to happen. I'm not going to go up there and then I have to go up in front of their audience and deliver this comprehensive thing about and get them on. It's so crazy, dude. People like every weekend. Oh, what was I getting to with? Oh, the Andrew Santino thing. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and he's roasting me all weekend. All the comics always roast me too. Like I get off, and they're like, "Dude, you crushed it.
You fucking murdered it,
you
bro.
You killed it.
Yo, what are you doing next weekend?"
Yeah, they're like, "Dude, you gotta
yo, come to Tampa.
Like do more material next time. Like, do you want to host?" So Andrew was messing with me all weekend, and then right before I went on the last show of his weekend, he was like, "Just right when you end, I just want you to say this. Just say." I'm the greatest comic in the world, and just walk up the stage. And then everybody was, that's such a pressure-filled situation for me anyway that I was like, he's in charge of the situation. He's the boss here.
Yeah.
He's telling me to do it. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
Fuck it. No one's going to know why. People might not even pick up on it. I'm just going to do it because he's going to think it's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been kind of waiting for a green light to do some shit like that anyway. Yeah. So I just went out there and did it. And he thought it was funny. I got to go out to the bars with him afterwards and hang out.
Fuck yeah.
But, yeah, dude, I get roasted. Do you know who DC Curry is? Don DC Curry?
No.
He plays I think he's a voice of somebody on the Boondocks. No, that's John Witherspoon. That's so racist to me. Wow. He might still be a voice of somebody on the Boondocks.
You should get a cancel button.
I'm canceled already. Bang, bang, bang.
Cancel button.
I'll edit in some sound effect or something. No, but he and some rich guy were smoking cigars and they were roasting me hardcore. And I came off one night and he was like, yeah, you did great. He's like giving me fake advice or whatever. Yeah. And I just looked at him. I was like, dude, you got no idea what it's like out there. You have no clue. Yeah. And that doesn't sound.
No idea.
It's like his show. And he's headlining all weekend. I'm like, dude, you got no clue.
You just don't know what it's like.
Huge pop out of the green room. It's just like they didn't, so it's cool. You can get some good pops out of that. But you also don't want to be known as like the sound guy that does the Yonder thing. It's like, I'm kind of glad that we've had a couple months off that like hopefully we never do Yonder again.
Yeah.
And I can just be the sound guy.
Yeah.
That'll be very
What if
nice
they make you become like the mask guy now?
Holy
you have to
shit,
go up
dude.
and like make sure everyone's masks on and like explain how to put on a mask or like explain the rules of. I know it's never gonna happen, but like I'm picturing it and I'm laughing my balls off.
I will say this: the only reason I'm in these situations, I find myself like this, is because I just don't say no.
Of course,
everybody when I don't work at the club, like if I have a night off, those things don't happen. People just don't do it. Like, nobody goes on the stage to do the thing because they're like, I don't want to do it, and then it's like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
But they ask me to do it, and I'm like, okay, I'll figure something out. Yeah. So I guess I just accept. If they told me to do a mask thing, I could probably be like, I don't want to, maybe. But I never say no to them because I like to. They're my friends, you know. They pay my bills and they're my friends.
No, it's true, man. You're a good worker.
So anyway, I asked you to introduce yourself, and then we went into that long riff. I interrupted you. So you're Corey Knox. What's your social media information you want to give that out?
It's just on OnlyFans. It's SweetFeet22.
OnlyFans.com/SweetFeet22.
Yeah, no, it's
a lot of foot stuff, foot comedy.
Yeah, dude. The weird thing is, I have pretty nice feet for being an athlete and like beating the shit out of my feet. They're like I'm not gonna show them to you, but they're not bad. Yeah, Zach Townsend, disgusting feet.
Yeah, dude, and it's crazy. You guys are identical size, but it's like
you
guys are like the angel and the devil because you're like in shape, and he's probably not so in shape.
Nah, I mean, but we've been playing tennis, dude, and he's actually oddly good at tennis.
Is he? He's long, probably, right?
He's got the length, but he's so okay. I'm like trying to play as like
so frustrated. You were like, you had a moment in time.
No, I'm livid right now. But he literally just is so like he's been watching tennis videos on like the basics, so he's just very vanilla over the net, and he's like very reserved with how he plays, and it's always like over the net and good. But like I'm over there like trying to get better, and I'm fucking trying backspin, like I'm trying all these fucking topspin shots, and I'm trying to actually serve. And I usually end up like double faulting or fucking up because I'm actually trying to hit the thing. Yeah. So, but I know that inevitably it will pay off. Like my skill will eventually be honed in.
Because you're working on a harder set of skills.
Yeah, and it's just like stand up. Like, you know.
Yeah. You're going to outrun him in that,
he's not coming to the open mics, and I am. So that's where it's at, dude.
You're done, Zach Townsend. You're cut a WWE promo right now.
Fucking idiot. I had to do that.
On him?
No, like I tried out for the WWE.
You did?
Yeah.
You got a real tryout with them?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's a fake real tryout.
No. It's real. It's real. Let's talk about this. Where was the location? Like what city?
It's in Orlando.
You went to Orlando and tried out for the WWE?
Yeah. They recruit, and after football, they were like, they got my information. They're like, hey, would you like to come for a weekend? We pay for everything. You come down. We beat the fuck out of you. And then you cut a promo. At the end, dude, yeah, in front of everyone, in front of the writers. Sometimes I think some of the wrestlers were there watching.
Are you in there like Performance Center?
Yeah, we were in the Performance Center. Yeah.
Whoa, dude. So how did you get hooked up with that? Did they contact you? Did you contact them?
I did not contact them. A former coach like was close with someone who does recruiting for them, and he's like, yeah, take a look at this guy. You know, he's still in shape. He just got done playing football. Blah blah blah. So I was like, yeah, why not? You know, I loved wrestling growing up. I kind of lost touch with it when they made it like PG because the Attitude Era was where it was at, dude. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
I can't watch it now.
I couldn't stand to do that now either. I was going to ask you that. The way they do the dialogue from the ring, it's like not. Dude. It doesn't have the cutting enough consequences. You know,
they're trying to write characters when before it was just like finding fucking characters.
They let it kind of happen.
These dudes
it's
were
real
the
improv,
dudes,
kind of.
bro. Yeah, these guys were kind of like that in real life.
They controlled their own fate with their storyline a little bit, you know?
Yeah, so it's like you cut that out, and I kind of felt that vibe when I was there for the tryout, but I also shot myself in the foot because day one of the tryout, there's this old trick that like endurance athletes use, and you take a bunch of Alka-Seltzer. Like
a bunch of tablets
of Alka-Seltzer, and it's a lactic acid buffer. So it's supposed to help you, go longer. And like cyclists use it, marathon runners use it. And my buddy told me about it. He's like, dude, if you're worried about like just like you'll have energy the whole time, it'll be fucking great. Do it. And I did it. I went to Walgreens the night before and got like a whole box of them. And I'm like, I'm fucking ready. I'm hydrated. I wake up at like 6 a.m. Take up like it tells you to take like 12 of them. Okay. You're legit supposed to take like 12. So I take 12, and then on the way there, and then I'm just driving, and I look over and I look at the box, and I'm like, oh fuck! It was the PM ones, dude.
Oh,
it was the Alka-Seltzer PM. Yeah, dude.
You like overdosed yourself,
bro. I'm real stupid.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I was like, dude,
that's insane.
No, it was nuts. It
so
was nuts.
Probably on their own, if you just took a normal amount of Alka-Seltzer PM, it probably wouldn't have been that big a deal.
Yeah.
But you went hard.
Dude, I stopped at the store on the way there and got caffeine pills. And I took like 4 caffeine pills and like drank like a Red Bull. And like definitely threw up when we had to do our fucking first set of rolls.
You like fizzing?
But yeah, like I was all fucked up, like just all over the place. And
oh my God,
I
dude.
think that first day, that kind of fucked me. Like I wasn't obviously feeling good. I didn't have like a great performance. The second day, got it right, had a good workout, but they were like, we have a bunch of guys that have wrestled for years. So we're, if you want to go and wrestle somewhere else and then come back and do another workout, we would probably sign you in the future.
Which would probably have been the result anyway, right? Do you think the Alka-Seltzer affected it very much? Do you think they would have told you that anyway?
It's just a funny part of the story because I'm a fucking idiot. But it's like...
no, I mean, that's insane, though, that would happen.
Yeah.
It's still so... All your sports stories, though, like, I feel your energy that you think it's tragic, but mine are like... I tried out for the baseball team in middle school.
Yeah.
And they paired me with the kid that was supposed to make it, and I suck. And I sucked so hard that he didn't make the team. It
brought him down.
He was crying in the
oh fuck.
He was crying in the tryout.
Oh no.
Because I was so bad that I was affecting his performance, and then he didn't make the team. And he's a scholarship baseball player in college. Well, he's probably graduated now.
Yeah.
But like he went to a university on a scholarship to play baseball, and I
you were just
sucked
a guy
so
that
hard.
Was just fucking...
I kept him from playing.
God damn.
Just in a one-day tryout.
See, but here's the thing. So you were real bad. But
when you tell me these things, I'm like, well, the reason I was so bad, I have prescription. I didn't have glasses.
Oh.
And they knew I was supposed to have glasses, but I broke them, and I just didn't buy them. So I'm like out there throwing the ball. I can't see the ball coming. Can't see it when I'm throwing.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I'm just out there.
It's kind
blind.
of important. Yeah.
Very important. So I just wanted to play ball, but I couldn't see, dude. Couldn't see.
Holy shit.
If you want a ball, you got to see. That's one of the rules.
But here's the thing: if he was a real true athlete and a good player, he would have found a way to make it work with you.
It was tough circumstances in the tryout where they weren't going to take everybody from that age group, and they were being real harsh on the first day cuts, and then they just cut him. They cut him from that.
Okay.
It was tough. It was a tough.
That is tough. Does he still like message you and shit?
Don't know him. What sucks is he's like a really, really nice guy.
Well, I
know he's a nice guy, and the fact that he was crying, I was like, because I couldn't see him, but when we got close, we had to pass each other, and I saw his eyes filled with tears.
Yeah.
And I felt
filled with tears.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Couldn't see the ball, but I could see the tears dripping from his fucking.
Because you gotta know, I'm there trying out too, and I'm like, I want to play, and then I'm like, oh, I know. From his reaction, I'm like, I already didn't feel good about what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I hear your stuff, I'm like, dude, you should be very proud.
Yeah.
Of your
well, it's the
career.
weird thing. It's like I'm obviously not upset that I got a lot of the opportunities. I worked very hard for them, but it's also like the comedy that comes from the failure is like, to me, that's my favorite comics are all like people that talk about real shit. I don't believe in a lot of ways I have the capacity to just make up these crazy stories. Like I'm trying to smoke more weed to get like on the level of like, I'm just making up these crazy whimsical bits that like you have to find a way to just generate. But like the real pain of life is where I've always thought comedy was brilliant and fun and relatable. So a lot of these stories and a lot of these things that have happened to me, I try and make into comedy. That's where comedies help me.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, you're a college athlete. You played college football where in Buffalo?
At the University of Buffalo.
University of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Is that what conference were you guys in?
We're in the MAC conference.
Which is any conference in D1 sports
D1.
is a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's a legitimate college. Khalil Mack came from the University of Buffalo. I played with Khalil Mack.
Wow. Like in the same, you were at the same time you played with him. You said you played with him.
He was a redshirt sophomore when I was a senior. When they redshirt a guy like that, one of the most talented guys in his position that you've seen in a long time, what's the process that goes? So he didn't play for 2 years while he was in college. No,
is that true?
No, I mean he walked in day one as a freshman, and people were like, "Who is this grown fucking man that looks like he's gonna kill someone?" Like the dude just genetically made. He's just fucking.
And what's his position?
He plays like outside linebacker, like DN outside. He's not like a rush end in the NFL, but even from day one, we were like, this dude he's different. He looks different than everyone. He's just got this something about him. So I think they redshirted him. I think he played his freshman year. He was like rotating in at that position, and I think the next year they redshirted him, so he didn't play. And then that next year was his redshirt sophomore year. That was his like unveiling to come in and like. I mean, he already had every scout in the NFL at our practices and scrimmages, like pre-camp, because he was that good. People knew he was going to be eventually a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. So,
and how long was he at Buffalo?
He played all of his years. He didn't leave early. He went as a senior.
So he had 2 redshirt years, and then he played 4 years. Is that right? Or just
you get 1 redshirt year, and then you play 4 years. You get
So 5 does that mean when you're a redshirt sophomore? What does that mean?
You get 5 years to play 4, and you could redshirt whenever you want.
Okay.
So say you get a freshman you sign a freshman that's not really big enough or strong enough to play, they will redshirt them that year. So they still get to do all the practices and team activities. They just never dress.
Right.
So it gives them it's like a super senior year. It's like if you were to stay in high school to develop a little bit more.
Okay.
But you can use that whenever you want.
Okay. So you're saying he played his first year as a freshman?
I believe he played
and
his
then
freshman
they
year.
chose to save him for a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he had a little bit of a knee injury after that first year, but they knew he was going to be a freaking monster. Gotcha. So like they were like, we're gonna,
and I bet that's valuable to an athlete that's never had an experience of missing games. I bet that adds like a little bit of a different professionalism to your game. Like when you're witnessing all the operations, but you have to, because I'm sure those guys, you love sports, you're an athlete, you want to play.
Yeah.
Especially a guy that's that good, he probably very much enjoys playing the game.
Oh yeah.
And to accept like, hey, you're gonna take time off and just not play, even though you're one of the most talented athletes.
Sure.
I bet that's a weird feeling, but I bet that builds a lot of like weird confidence and like a professionalism in those athletes.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting thing. Is like that is your identity. You're an athlete. That's what's interesting about what's happening right now is a lot of these guys have to choose and are being pressured to play or not play or have like an opinion on if they should play or not. Like, and I couldn't imagine being in that situation. I mean, if I got the call from the team that I used to play for right now, I would probably go and play. But a guy that has played for 8 to 10 years, made a career for himself, has a family at home, maybe one of his kids is, susceptible to whatever. Like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. It sucks that people are getting pressured into that situation. But
yeah, so you played 4 years at the University of Buffalo.
I was a track and field athlete for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And then my senior year, my junior year, I wanted to play football. I was like, I'm big enough, I'm strong enough. I like literally out lifting all the dudes on the football team. I was a thrower, so like we trained hard as fuck. We trained heavy. I was like 255. I was like
you did shot put and discus.
Shot put and discus. Yeah, this is frisbee.
Yeah.
But discus.
Discus. Oh yeah, you're like
the
that's
people
right.
are always
like,
oh, you throw that. I'm like, yeah,
that's right. I'm sorry.
No, it's a weird
Didn't
sport.
Mean to insult you.
Super. Yeah, don't let it happen again. No, super weird fucking sport.
At least I knew what it was.
Yeah.
You said you're a thrower, and I was like, shot put.
You got that? Yeah.
I know a shot put weighs like 12 pounds, right? In
high school. It's 16 in college and in the Olympics.
Okay, and the women's is 8 in high school.
And it stays that way all the way through.
Jesus Christ.
Double standard. No, dude, it should. It's good.
Okay, and you didn't do like a super jav, or did they do normal javelin? I know in high school they did the super jav because it was like safe.
Yeah.
It's like a plastic rocket or some shit.
New York State does not do javelin, so, but in college they do javelin. So we did.
And it was like legit javelin.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like we had some legit javelin. We had a Canadian javelin thrower, and he was fucking filthy, but he had a bum back, but I mean he was really good.
It seems like a real transferable skill to be like a fucking because like
especially
throw a heavy ball, throw a discus,
dude.
it's
Especially
like
with the world ending and shit.
but
I'm
like-
like, dude, you don't have to worry about guns. You just have
smoke
spears
a gazelle, dude, with the through the neck.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
Yeah, that guy's an elite athlete at a real transferable skill.
Yes,
but it's like the lamest sport, really.
Ever. Yeah,
it's like
I was a loser for 4 years.
Well, like no, but you're killing that guy. Like it's so much cooler to do shot put or discus than it is to be the javelin guy. It's like you're out to fucking throw in this. It looks cool, but it's not cool. You can't. It's probably hard to be proud of that.
I agree with that because it's light. It's very javelins are very light.
You do
They're
the cool spin with the fucking the spin thing is cool.
I mean, everyone yells when they throw, but anyways, yeah.
That's how it goes. We riff on this thing.
That's fine, dude. It's good. Let people know I was a loser in college.
No. It's good. I'm complimenting you.
Dude,
You were the coolest one.
No, I loved the track and field was cool because a lot of people know this. Track and field in college is like every weekend you're going away as a co-ed team. You're going to different cities to compete, and you're all staying in hotel rooms, so you're like just having fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're not drinking or anything, but like you're hanging out with the girls' team, the guys' team. We're playing games on the bus ride back.
Trips with the homies. It's always fun.
I think back to some of those trips we did. Like we would do 2 weeks of spring training in South Carolina. Like we were, it was a fucking blast. I'll never forget those times. But my junior year, I wanted to play football, so I went to the football coaches and I was like, look, I think I can play. I haven't played in a little bit, but like I'm already an athlete here. I'm a partial scholarship athlete here. I was getting like a 60-70% ride at that time. I was like, can I try out? Can I just come out? And they're like, no. They're like, we don't. No, absolutely not.
Like, we don't need you.
Yeah, we haven't played. You haven't played in 3 years. We're not going to waste a spot on you. Really, a lot of the coaches were they came from bigger conferences, so they were kind of cunty about like players and stuff. They all thought they knew everything. And I was like, look, I don't think you realize how much I've always wanted to play football. I just have never been the right size to play the position that I would want to play at a Division I level. I'm there now. The upstairs part is there. I played like a maniac when I was in high school. I never cared about my body. I would hit anything that moved. They called me, like, my nickname at high school was Bobby Boucher. Like, that's what people would call me. And for both reasons, like I feel like, but...
Oh, well, because you're stupid and aggressive?
And aggressive.
You're not stupid. That's very funny, though.
But legit, like that was part of in high school, I would take all of the things that I was feeling and dealing with at home, and I would like just get angry and hit people about it. So in a way, it kind of legit was that.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, if you guys just let me out there with some football equipment on, I still have those things going on. Like, I still feel that shit.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I still feel that shit. And this fucking ball that I'm throwing that's cold on my neck isn't doing it for me.
You're like, I'm ready to truck some fools. I'm ready to get that with Khalil Mack.
I can't yell at the shot put anymore. It's just boring. But so they wouldn't let me come out my junior year. So my senior year was my last chance to play college football. And I sat in the football office every single fucking day over summer. I would do track practice, I would lift, and then I would go and sit in the office.
You went and harassed him.
I would fucking harass him like an ex-boyfriend.
Like, it's worth it to me. I
put a couple holes in the fucking walls of the drywall in the football office. That's what I did, bro. I was that.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, I was like
I was fucking.
You go in there like, I want to play the game.
Yeah, no. But that's.
They're like, this guy is committed. Like, they reward that in football. Okay, I see how it works.
That's what you want when you want, like. You want a fucking linebacker who's got a little bit of a screw loose.
Run through the wall.
Fullback that's a little fucked up. That's really what you want. So I just let them know that I was crazy and I wanted it and I wanted to fucking play. And it was like probably like the 20th or 30th day that I was just literally, I was like having a sit-in in their office. They would walk by me all the time and just be like, they would pretend like I was not there, sitting on the couch waiting for him. And finally one day, the head coach, his name is Jeff Quinn, I'm just sitting there waiting. And he goes, I just hear him, all right, come in. And I fucking get a meeting with him, right? It was the meeting that I've been waiting for. And a couple of the guys that I played with in high school were from other schools that knew me were on the team, and they were vouching for me. Like, he played in high school. He's a decent player. Like, you should. So finally enough people were saying it, and I was just a maniac in the fucking office. And we talked for like 2 hours, and I told him everything that I was going to do. And he was like, all right, we'll get you out there. The only thing you have to do is you have to forfeit your scholarship. You have to give up all your money in order to come out and play, because you can't be a two-sport athlete and have a partial scholarship. It's either you have no scholarship at all. It's an NCAA rule. You either have no scholarship at all or you're a full ride for one of those sports.
So you were going to have to give up your partial track scholarship in hopes
to become a walk-on.
Well, and were you hoping that you could prove that you would get? You didn't think that they would give you a scholarship?
They legitimately told me. He told me in that meeting, he's like, we don't have any more money left.
Like, we won't.
You're not giving us. You're just going to have to pay for your senior year to play football. Are you okay with that? And I said, give me a helmet right now, Jeff Quinn. I'll fucking headbutt you.
And what point was this before they were starting? Do they call it OTAs in college?
No, it's called training camp. It's just like college training camp.
So when was that before the season was getting started?
Yep, it was.
Got you.
It was before summer workouts. I had to do all the summer workouts. It's like no pads. It's just like conditioning. It's summer conditioning. Okay. So you wake up, you get there at 6. They just fucking kill you for a few hours, feed you, then you come back and you do like more shit, and then you do that for like 3 weeks. Then it's like the pre to camp, and then you go to camp, where you have another 2-3 weeks. But he did. I went to the office, the registrar's office, or the athletics office, and literally gave up my scholarship to walk on the team. And we get into camp, and our first day of pads, I was the 4th string fullback. And then the next day of pads, or second day in pads, I was the 3rd string fullback. And then the next day, I was I became the 2nd string fullback after that next day of pads. And then we had our first live scrimmage at the end of the week, and I was the second team. Khalil was the first team, and they first play out of the gate, they sent me on a power to the left side up against him.
Okay.
And I fucking smacked him, and like kind of knocked him down, like got him on his back a little bit, and like they were like, okay, like no one's ever done that before. And then the next day I walk in, I got him off. I caught him off balance.
Dude.
Here's the thing. The dude's a freak. He's a fucking phenomenal football player. 9 times out of 10, I don't know what's happening there. It just depends on who's got the leverage and who's running
8 Mile,
faster.
baby. It's your shot. It's your one shot.
Yeah. And that's really what it was. And I was just like, I need to fucking kill anything that's in front of me. But the next day I walk in, and Jeff Quinn walks right up to my locker. Like after that scrimmage, walks right up and he goes, congratulations, son, you got a full scholarship. Next day I was a starting fullback.
They gave you a scholarship?
Yeah, they gave me a full scholarship.
Whoa, even after saying we're not giving you a scholarship.
They're lying. Everyone's a fucking liar, dude.
Well, because they're being businessmen, they're negotiating with you.
It's capitalism, bro.
That's crazy. I'm glad you held on the full scholarship until that point in the story. Wow, dude, because that's a real, like, I hear some people could equate that to luck, but you're only lucky if you harass them in the office every day.
Yes.
And your homies help you get on the team. And then the 3 prior days, you're escalating to the better teams. When you're getting the rep, you're on the second team to face him, and they call that play on the first drive.
Yes.
Wow, dude. Yeah. That's a great story.
It's part of the deal.
Yeah, so. I would be so proud of that. You couldn't stop my pride.
It was like the best feeling I could ever had, because at this moment everyone had been telling me no, and it's too late, and like you haven't played in 4 years and all this bullshit, and I'm like, you guys don't know what's going on upstairs, and you don't know how hard I've worked the last 4 years getting stronger and faster and doing all the things. Dude. I'm like, I'm ready to fucking kill someone. I'm ready to do this, and it's my hometown team. It's the University at Buffalo, where I always wanted to play. So I ended up playing my senior year, starting. We had a pretty good year. A couple games could have got us to the conference championship, whatever. We played here in Tennessee. We played at Neyland. Okay. In front of fucking 103,000. I caught a 10-yard pass. That was wild as fuck. You can't hear anything out. It's so loud at that stadium. But yeah, man, it was fucking awesome, and a good portion of my life that I'm very lucky and thankful for.
Did you get a lot of on-ball play as a fullback? I know, like, in a lot of the more modern game, a fullback isn't on the ball. There's a lot of blocking. I don't know if being a casual fan, I don't think I understand the fullback position. I think a lot of people don't understand it, really. Yeah. Like, because it's like a running back. I just think it's kind of like an under-the-radar position on the offense,
No, it is. It's a small offensive lineman that's in the backfield. You're
like the dirty work.
Yeah, you don't get much of the credit. I mean, people that know football know that if you have a running back that's tearing it up, you'll usually have a good fullback on your team. And that year we ran the shit out of the ball. We had a guy who came in as our running backs coach. He had won 2 Super Bowls. He had coached in the NFL for 12 years. And he figured out how to take the running backs we had and make them really good. And that senior year, our running back broke like all the rushing records and touchdown records and shit.
For the school or the conference?
Yeah, for our school. And so he was so good that they're like, I would never give me the ball either. I'm like, you got Brandon Oliver. He played for 5 years in the league. He's fucking filthy running back. But when we needed it, there were a couple plays designed for me to go opposite the play direction and just catch like a pass and see what I could do with it. So I had one or two carries and like 2 or 3 catches, and one of them was that kneeling, which was fucking incredible.
Yeah, dude, I envy, like, I'm a big fan of Madden football.
Yeah.
And I never played football. So, like, I've developed a love for, like, figuring out how the game works through, like, a video game.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see how, like, a play is really, when you think about how, a lot of people probably don't really think about how football works.
It's a game of chess, dude.
Right. The amount of intelligence and execution that has to go into and how you have to fine-tune all the details to operate as a unit like that, and that's what makes a successful team.
Yeah.
Or things blow up in your face. Great at, like, the math of, like, you have great talent, but the execution is not there. The code, I wish I knew more about the insides like you do about how that stuff is developed in a day-to-day operation, in practice, in when you're watching film, you know?
It's crazy. I say this all the time. I think that college and professional football coaches are maybe the craziest people on earth. I legit believe that. They don't care about anything but that.
They're just consumed with studying this like warfare that's a game.
It's nuts. That's an actual game.
Yeah.
But it's monetized, and if you do well at it, you can be successful and have whatever you want, and like it's cool and I love it. And like when I was doing it, I was like, this is fucking awesome. But man, it is stressful when things don't go well. It's like you're fucking with someone else's life and money, and like if you fuck up a play, that could be the end of a coach's career,
especially in college,
dude. Yeah, it's a lot to put kids through that are just that should be trying to get an education.
Yeah,
you know?
That's something I did want to ask you about. Was like in practice, do you have experience? I've heard people talk about, maybe especially in college, you're like people on the roster that are on second team, third team, when they're getting reps against like their superstar players, like wide receivers, quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of pressure do they put on you to not injure those players?
It depends. It depends on the time of year. Mm-hmm. It depends on a lot of things. But the crazy part is a lot of the we would call them scout teams or dummy teams. Mm-hmm. They'll have the script. They'll have the play script that the offense is running.
Okay.
So like
just so they know,
and like they're told to like be in the general area so they can fit up on you. But when you get to that level in college football, you don't want to be fucking destroying yourselves in practice every single day. Like there's a point in camp, like those scrimmages I was talking about, where you prove yourself. But then the rest of the year, it's a matter of like I don't want to say going through the motions, but like figuring out your tracks, figuring out where you should be, and then staying rested enough to then give it 100% on game. Be rested enough on game day that you can actually play.
And your experienced guys pretty much get that. Like they get do you never really get guys that are aggressive that are like,
you get some
I can imagine there's guys that's like a whole coach, like a whole income of this staff, like the head coach, his assistants.
Yeah.
Normally, I guess a head coach will bring on his staff when he gets hired.
Sure.
And if something happens where a college is putting their success on a certain player and they get injured in practice or something because of some guy that you had on your roster.
Yep.
Now you're gonna fit, like these guys got to buy new homes. They got to move to new cities because of you.
Yes.
So I wonder what like the pressure you put on these student athletes. You know,
it's crazy. It's a crazy thing that we're doing.
Because you get like a guy that you see he can go out and like high point a ball as a receiver, jump like high like a basketball player. He gets his legs taken out. He hurts an ankle.
Yeah.
And it's like now the success of our season is screwed. Our whole game plan is off now because of an ankle injury on this kid.
Yes. It's a tremendous amount of pressure, but college football is so fucking cool. Football is great in general. I mean, it's weird because like I get that whole competitive side of it. I've been through it. Like I understand it. But I also am at the side of like, man, our fucking brains and our bodies and like, I mean, but then I'm like, we're only here for a little bit of time, so fucking do what you want. But then I know guys that played 10 years that can't go a day without a headache, you know? So it's like, I don't know, quality of life. Like what's your goal? I mean, that's the beauty about being an individual. You can do what you want. But, we had one specific instance in one of our scrimmages where it was a first string offense against like the third string, and this young linebacker was like kind of a cocky dick, and he was like trying to, I guess, get up in his ranks or whatever.
Trying to get his Corey Knox moment.
Dude, but our moment was like in camp, and it was like a moment where like we didn't, no one knew. They weren't giving us the script. It was like, it's just mano a mano.
Supposed to play.
You're supposed to fucking, but it's a game. It's a scrimmage. We were just having a practice, and it was like middle of the season, and this kid kept putting his fucking helmet under my buddy Gio. He's our left tackle. He kept putting his helmet like under his fucking chin, every play, and he knew where the plays were going.
Yeah.
And Gio was like, and Gio was like the most not reserved dude, but like not a super aggressive football player, but just a big giant dude who has feet and could fucking play. Not really aggressive enough to be like a dominant dude, but he fucking literally the third play picked him up. I've never seen someone on a football field pick someone up in the air, and he like picked him up and he like yelled like this primal like ah, and he like carried him like 5 yards and then slammed him in the fucking ground. And this kid's named Jake Stockman. He was just fucking laying there like, and we were laughing our balls off because we knew it was gonna happen.
So he just got him under the pads.
Oh, he just got him under the pads and literally
ah.
picked him up and like walked him and then slammed him.
Was this an O-line guy versus a defensive guy?
It was an O-line guy versus an inside linebacker.
So he probably had him by like 75
pounds. Oh, we had him by a lot.
Yeah.
And we fucking loved it because none of us were like, Jake was like this fucking kind of a prick. And we were like, good, fucking good.
And he was angry. He let it out.
You got the most
like,
reserved guy on our offense to fucking like want to murder you on the field because you're being a dickhead.
Yeah, hopefully he got the message.
He did.
Do guys like that hang around? I mean, do you ever see guys get cut like that because of their practice etiquette? Because I know football's a little bit of a dog-eat-dog world, but I know that more because of pro coverage that I see, but I don't know as much about college.
College is not that crazy. Like, they could suspend you or, like, demote you, but, like, your education is tied into your scholarship, so they can't really, unless you fail a drug test or they know you're really fucking up off the field, you kind of just stay. There's dudes that literally stay out and get on scholarship because they were blue chip recruits from Texas or Florida, and they don't ever play hard because they don't really give a fuck about football, and they just collect that scholarship every year. That happens all the time.
Sometimes that's like the curse of being a really good natural athlete, right? Is that you don't really know how to apply your effort.
Sure.
Because you've always had success, you know?
Everything
that's
comes
something
easy.
you would, like those guys on like Last Chance U.
Yeah.
You see how talented some of those guys are?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like my very casual. Now, I'm sure those guys are like.
No, it's the truth.
You know, you're like Randy Moss, you know, who turned out to be one of the great. He was plagued, like his story of like getting signed for Notre Dame and then losing that, going to Florida State and then losing that, and then end up getting picked up at West Virginia or Marshall, and he ended up blowing up, you know.
Blowing up.
And that's like top tier version of that story.
Sure.
But that probably happens to multiple guys every year. Like they're just, you know, their life gets altered because of some off the field thing.
No, it's the truth. And you're right. You nailed it. Like the dudes that are super talented athletically usually don't work as hard, but then you get the guys that do. And then that's where you get your Jerry Rices. That's where you get your even Khalil's. Like his work ethic has changed tremendously, and he's just fucking outworks people, and he's just genetically made better than everyone. You know,
that's the crazy thing about being a sports fan is learning. Like when these young guys get into college out of high school, they've been getting by on the athleticism the whole time. Yeah, and it's like you hear a guy like Patrick Mahomes was talking about in his MVP season, he learned how to read defenses halfway through the year. It's like he's that talented at the position
that he could just go off. Yeah,
he was like, it's crazy that he like other guys, they have to probably become this huge, like a guy like Tom Brady. He probably couldn't make it to where he was you know, when he picked up for Drew Bledsoe after the injury,
right?
Where he probably had to know football like a genius already. But Patrick Mahomes is so talented athletically. Yeah, it's like, or like a guy like Lamar Jackson. It's like, I'm just now learning the game.
That's scary.
Because now it is scary because they're just now being challenged by the high octane athletes. Like they were just, that's how much better they were than everybody else.
Yeah,
they were just running over them, and now it's like, oh, now I got to learn how to play the game that I'm getting paid millions of dollars to play.
There's a reason why Patrick Mahomes got that contract, and if he wanted to, could probably bail out our economy right now.
Yeah, he might be the first. I think he might be the first $1 billion football player, like by the end of his career.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, that contract is so crazy. You know, he's I think the conversation between who's the best quarterback is between him and Lamar Jackson right now.
Yeah.
They have such an interesting style of play, but Patrick Mahomes just has everything.
Yeah.
The way, when you see, like, when he first came on the field to replace Alex Smith's having the best season of his career, and he's a great quarterback, Alex Smith.
Solid quarterback.
And the way that, like, you see Patrick Mahomes, like, sidearming the ball, he's throwing, like,
doing
off
different shit.
The way his feet are when he's throwing.
Across the field, just.
It doesn't look like, looks like the video game is glitching, you know? Yeah. That guy is so off the hook, man. It's exciting to see a game I mean, again, football's not that old, but you see, like, the game it still has room to evolve in, like, the styles of play. This guy can come out like a chess master.
Yep.
He can run.
Yep.
I love Patrick Mahomes.
No, he's great.
I'm glad he's getting paid that money.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hopefully he keeps winning, because that's the only way he's going to get that money. They'll cut. If he falls off in the next 4 years or gets hurt, he's never going to see all that money. But he's still going to make, like, $250 million no matter what.
He's doing all right.
Oh, dude, that's so. And he bought stake in the Royals or something, didn't he? Or he bought
He's
he
smart,
bought a
he'll
team.
start to do that.
He bought some.
He
team.
just bought a team.
He owns a sports team in Kansas City now.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, imagine being that guy. He's like, I'm just now figuring out how my sport is played. Now I own a baseball team.
Yeah, dude.
It's like,
I don't know if I would ever like. Obviously, you want more money, but like that level of money is just like scary to me. Cause like the pressure. What do you do with it? How do you? I don't know.
all I want to do is to be able to go to a restaurant and eat whatever I want and not have to think about it. Like if we were talking about going to have dinner
and just
I want to go to any restaurant and be able to look at the menu and get what I want without having to think about paying my bills.
I agree with that.
That's all I want.
I want that, but with like everyone I'm with. I want to be able to take care of everyone. Like I want that. Like every time I'm with a group of people, I'm just like, oh no, here you go. I got everything.
That's
never
like the
even
level
fucking
2.
blink.
That's like the ultimate level of what I'm talking about. But if I can just cover me, I do.
And realistically, that's all you need. Like, what better is that than just to be able to take care of people that you like to be around all the time and just do that forever until you're gone? Like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
because some people could do that.
Even Jeff Bezos, there's a limit to like what he can spend at a restaurant.
Yeah,
it's like if Dave Chappelle and Jeff Bezos go to a restaurant, they can do the same thing.
Same thing.
So it's like I don't need, and even Dave Chappelle, like you could be like a 10th of what he is, and still get the same shit. So it's like if I could get, that's like all I want, you know?
Yeah. At a certain point, I just don't even understand why why does someone want a gold-plated yacht? That's a thing.
Yeah.
Just to make it more expensive, they make it out of gold, and I'm like, I don't get why we're doing this.
Yeah, I just buy stuff that I mean, maybe that's just what people like.
Well,
I don't know.
It gets to a point where nothing satisfies your, like, whatever gets you off at that point, right? Whatever gives you a little bit of an adrenaline rush or a buzz from buying or purchasing or having. And it gets to a point where you have so much money that you need to keep, and then eventually you just eat kids and do whatever. Like, that's what it, that's what
you
happens.
Start taking adrenochrome and you just go,
it's a whole thing, man. I've seen it a dozen times.
That's the level. Like, you get a certain amount of money in your bank account, and a guy shows up at your door with a box, and he's like, you have to eat. This came from a child's brain. You have to eat this. Hillary Clinton has sent this to your house.
Exactly, dude.
I got to stop talking about the Clintons on this, but I feel like that's why I'm not getting the ad revenue.
We'll talk about someone else that has happened to. We'll talk about, I believe Tom Brady. I do. I believe the GOAT is there. Because like,
you think that he's in the pedophile ring?
I think he's in the child stuff because, dude, because here's the thing. You win that many Super Bowls, bro. You have that kind of wife. You have that kind of money. What do you go to next? The winning doesn't work. The winning doesn't do it for him. Did you see the video of him making out with his son in the fucking...
He kissed his son right on his mouth.
Not once, though. That's the thing. The kiss happened for way too long in the first place, and then the kid walked away, and Tom Brady goes, you call that a kiss, boy? And like made him come back for a longer kiss.
Hasn't he kissed his dad on the face in public too? I think he's kissed his own father. Yeah.
The second...
We could say it.
The second kiss was like 30 seconds, dude. I'm
weird.
just saying. Well, you're getting a massage,
that,
bro.
But I'm not kissing my dad.
The kid was too old. The kid was like 15, dude. Yes.
Is that real?
Yeah, look it up. He
was
in the massage room. He was laying down on the thing,
and his son comes in. He's like, "Oh, give me that little kiss."
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, it's weird.
They got a weird, and he's dating that. He's married to a supermodel.
I'm not buying it, dude. You get to a certain point where those are the things that. I'm just kidding. I just didn't have real love when I was younger, so I'm just taking it out on Tom Brady.
I kind of love. Well, you're from that area. You're from the Northeast, right?
Yeah, we hate them.
You're not a Patriots fan.
Oh fuck no.
Who did you like? Who was your NFL team?
I grew up watching.
Oh, the Bills.
The Bills, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
have you ever watched me do stand up, dude?
We talked
about the same
the
joke for 2.5 years, and this guy's like, "What team do you like?"
I forgot. We said Northeast. You're from the Northeast, and I was like, "Oh, everybody loves them," but I forgot. In New York, the Bills rule.
Hate. One time I saw a grown man throw a foot-long sub at like a 8-year-old kid with a Tom Brady jersey on. At the stadium,
really? That level of hate,
and then everyone was laughing.
Get him!
Yeah, and the best part is like the people in the like where we weren't even like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? They were like, yeah, fuck that kid.
Yeah, they were like, let's throw him through the table.
Seriously,
they were like, Corey, cut a WWE promo on this kid
and hammer throw this kid.
They held him down like in the. What's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? The Gangs of New York on the table, and you like Bill the Butcher. You just headbutted him until his face was all fucked up.
That's literally what's happening at Bills games in Buffalo. Bills Mafia, dude. The
Bills Mafia. So just so people know, we covered your college career.
Yeah.
And then just to end, I always.
It's not an audition. Yeah. I didn't go up and
look.
dance.
This is something you need to know. I've been holding back mentally. every time we talked about tryouts and stuff, when I talked about my baseball thing, I almost say audition every time.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, you're talking to a sports guy. Don't fucking say audition. And I let it slip.
Weird.
I made myself look like a ballerina.
No, it's okay, dude.
So you had your tryout with
you
the
were a theater
with the
kid.
Bills.
We get it.
I actually was. I was a music kid. I did play music. But yeah, it's always auditions. Man. They're not tryouts. Except drumline. Drumline had tryouts.
I like that.
It was hardly. We had audition packets, but they were drumline tryouts.
The drummers are the most athletic component of a... Right?
You get away with not being a loser more than everybody else.
For sure.
And people, it's impressive because people don't get what you're doing.
It's more movement.
Well, I mean, I didn't play drum set. Like, I was in the drum line.
The drum line, but still, like, the whole
I do play
walking
drum set,
and like, that's the most athletic.
When you do it with the flute, you don't get a lot of credit. But, like, the everybody on the football team thinks, like, we would practice in the parking lot where everybody parks after school. And so as everybody's leaving, I'm, like, out there just playing. And they don't get that you like can just play a drum if you know how to play it.
Yeah.
So that people would see me and they'd be like, "How does he know to just play all this?" It like blows kids' minds. They're like that you can just play a drum.
Just do it.
Like I could just play forever, you know. But like that's way less cool than getting tryout with the Bills.
Yeah. It's not as cool. I'm not gonna lie about it. That's. But here's the thing. I now I live in Nashville and I see dudes just shred and fucking play, and I live with two musicians and. You know, they're great and they can do things that I can never do. And I'm jealous that I can't just go in the basement and fucking make these beautiful sounds and do. I hate them because I haven't had a nap in 2.5 years. But like, it's cool that we can at least we can appreciate each other's skill sets. Yeah, man, I got the tryout with the Bills.
And how did you get it? Like, what was the process? Did you have to apply? Is there like an application?
No, you can't really apply. Well, the funny thing is even when I moved here, apparently the Titans would do open tryouts sometimes.
It's like that Mark Wahlberg movie with the Eagles.
Oh, I fucking love that. Invincible. I love that movie.
That's good. That's a real guy, right?
A legit dude.
Yeah. Did he play quarterback?
No, he was like a special teams guy, man. He made it as like a special teams and like a slot receiver before they were really a thing.
He's like Julian Edelman.
Kind of, but not a douchebag. Just a good, hardworking man. A
good guy. Oh, yeah, you hate him.
Yeah, well, Julian Edelman's just a little fucking... I mean, he's a great football... Okay. I like people that are great football players and then off the field you know that they're solid people. Like, I like those kinds of people.
He might not be a solid guy off the field.
I've heard that he's not. It could just be speculating, but based on how he kind of acts and is, I feel like he's kind of a little dickhead.
Well, I hate him now, too. I'll back you on that.
Yeah.
I'll back you.
I don't know. Maybe he's maybe he'd be my best friend if I knew him. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing it, but...
Hey, if he buys the drinks, dude, I'll do whatever he wants.
If he buys me lunch, dude.
You get the adrenochrome, Julian Edelman. Yeah. I'll be there for you. But I keep interrupting your good stories.
No, you're good. They're okay. Yeah, I got the tryout with the Bills. I graduated and did my pro day and everything, which is like basically an audition for pro teams. Like it's college kids doing all the testing, doing all that shit. And I didn't get signed out of college because I played for 1 year. It's not why, but like it's part of it. In order to be a 1 year guy, a 1 year wonder, you've got to be coming from a huge conference or be really, really good your senior year in a good position that's in need in the NFL. I played fullback for 1 year. I did pretty good given the situation of me just coming in, learning the offense, playing. Our running back did pretty well that year. I felt like I helped him in a way, but it wasn't enough for NFL teams to be like, oh, yeah, we need this guy.
Like scouts to stand out from all their information that they received.
Yeah, and I probably went in to pro day a little bit too heavy. I was almost 260. And
wow. How tall are you? 6'3", 6'4"?
I'm about 6'3". Yeah, 6'2", 6'3". And at that weight, I just couldn't run probably as fast as I needed to be like 235, 240 and run like a 4.6, 4.7. If I would have done that, I legitimately think that I would have had like a shot somewhere like right out of college, maybe a camp shot, maybe not. But anyways, didn't get signed, but I kept training. I kept going to like open workouts for CFL teams and I kept going to like arena league trials and like I kept training because I'm like, I know I can fucking play.
Yeah, that same college mentality, that thing you did to get on in the university.
Absolutely. But I had my college coach tell me, he's like, he coached in the NFL for 12 years. He's like, you have the ability to play in the NFL. And he told me that one time. And he's like, I talked to Sam Gash. I talked to a couple other guys that I used to coach. And I told him about you. Yeah. It's like I told him, he was a stud fullback for the Bills for years. He's like, I told him about you. You know, and I'm like, that's fucking incredible. So I'm like, I have this confidence. Like, I know I can do it physically. I just need to learn the game a little bit more, which is a huge part of it. But at that position, they're not really willing to give you a lot of leeway because they don't use fullbacks a ton.
Right. So when they come to you, you got to be ready because you're not going to get as many reps.
You have to be packaged, ready to roll. I just wasn't. I should have played linebacker my senior year. We needed a fullback. Doesn't matter. Neither here nor there. Trained really hard, got in front of the right people, made some connections, got a workout in front of the Bills GM and head of player personnel, and they liked me. They liked a guy that they had their eye on who was a basketball player from Canisius College up in Buffalo, and they were looking at him to make the transition from basketball to football as a tight end. So we did our workouts together, and they liked both of us, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna sign both of you guys." And like for me, growing up there, like legit, my dad worked at the stadium. I've been going there since I was a kid.
Wow! So it's like, and you got a contract. They said you're signing. You signed.
Well, here's the thing: they didn't sign us right away. They were like, "We like you. We're gonna sign you when the new contracts come out for the next year."
Okay.
So I had to wait like a month, just knowing that I was gonna get signed and not tell anyone. And like I'm a Bills fan, it's like diehard through and through, like legitimately Bills Mafia, like our family. Like you don't understand what it means unless you're in that. And like to have that opportunity or to know that, it's the most surreal shit you could ever go through. But I made a big mistake. I told my dad, and he told fucking like
my son don't go to Bills.
He told fucking everyone, and I'm like,
I
Jesus.
worked at this arena, and I
exactly,
brought him to the games.
Dude. And I'm like, and the head of the fucking player personnel and the general manager of the team was like, it's very important that you guys don't say anything to anyone because it could be like a breach of contract or like we could get in trouble. And my dad's just fucking yelling it from the rooftop.
He's at the bar and he's like, my son
they're
plays.
throwing parties for me and shit. I'm like, I didn't even get signed yet.
Spray paint your name on a table. They're jumping
through it, lighting themselves on fire and all that bullshit. But the cool thing was I had the app on my phone, and finally when I went in and signed the paperwork. That day they do a press release, and it comes up on my phone. You know, Corey Knox is signed, and Chris signed, and then Chris Manhurst was the kid. He's still in the league, dude. He's still playing. He's great. He's doing a great job.
What's this app? Is it just for you?
It's just
like
a Bills
players?
app. It's like a Bills app.
Oh, like for fans to keep up with.
Yeah.
Oh, and they
Every
just
team
put
has
any. Oh, so if they sign players, release players, whatever, you get notifications so you can keep it. So wow, you got your fan app on your phone that's like Corey Knox.
My phone, I had to fucking put it away, bro.
Your phone gets the notification, and then everybody else, bang, 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 bang.
Nuts.
That's such a cool feeling. I bet
it was, and I mean, people I hadn't talked to in 15 years that I went to like middle school. They're like, "Yo, let's hang out sometime." I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like, I'm starting a new business. I bet you'd be interested in.
Legit things like that were happening.
I hate that shit.
But it was really cool, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up getting released. Rex Ryan became the head coach. I did OTAs, mini camps. I was like working my ass off, man. I was there when, Chris and I were both there when people weren't there, just to try and get a head start. I was studying the offense from Greg Roman, who I knew was going to be signed as our offensive coordinator. I'm like, I'm just going to go and watch film on the 49ers because he's there. And like, we were doing what I was fucking long snapping. I was doing whatever I could to try and make that team because I knew I was a free agent guy that no one knew about.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan ended up being kind of like a players coach guy that kind of brings in his guys. He immediately signed like 15 players from the Jets to turn the roster over.
He likes his own personnel.
He likes his own guys. And like, it's a weird thing. He's not a good coach. That's why he's not coaching.
Yeah, he's an aggressive personality, too.
He's a personality, and that's what people fall in love with, which is really cool, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a good football coach. Bill Belichick is a fucking doorknob, Like, he's not an interesting guy. Do you think that people really have fun with Bill Belichick?
But on the inside, he's like the most conniving. He's like a Wall Street banker.
He's a nut. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
And
I kind of respect him now. I used to hate him, but now I'm like,
respect the shit out of him.
Guy.
But I don't ever want to hang out with him.
Yeah, because he.
This is fun. A guy can barely smile. That sucks. But Rex is like this, jovial personality, just fucking, that
has horrible takes on professional sports.
He really does. He's got horrible takes.
Horrible hot takes.
Dude, his coaching style is even worse. He was very loose. He was very, it's just like it was like a party with his stuff. So I don't think I ever really got a fair shake. His speech when he got signed, I was in the field house working out, and they set up the whole podium. And they introduced him as the head coach, and he's out there talking about the blue collar mentality of Buffalo and the hardworking people in the city deserves winning, and like the people. And I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps, and I'm like, this is fucking me, dude.
Let's go to war.
I'm like, give me pads
Buffalo.
Right now. Yeah, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna do the same thing I did in college. And then you know, it turns out that he's not. He was just saying shit like that. He's just fanning people up. He's just getting people, you know, whatever.
He's fanning them flames.
He's fanning the flames to get the fans excited, but they ended up signing another fullback and ended up cutting me and never really giving me another chance. But I saw him in public like a month after they cut me. I saw he was at this taco joint. They love tacos, like him and his brother, and it's like their thing. Everyone loves tacos, but they're like,
you can tell by looking at them, they love a lot of different foods.
Notorious for going to taco joints, and literally right across the street from where I lived in Buffalo, there was this good taco joint, and I saw his truck pull in there, and he's got a big giant truck. It's got Bills logos all over it, and I'm like, all right,
kind of crazy.
Time to be the crazy ex-boyfriend again. Here we go. I'm gonna be a fucking nut job. I just got done with my workout. I was all fucking ready to go.
You wanted to confront him?
Dude, I go in the parking lot, park. They're walking out. They had a couple drinks. They were a little bit liquored up. I go up to him and Rob Ryan, and I go, hey, I want a chance to play on this fucking team.
They remember you?
Yeah. I gave him my spiel. I did the 10-minute thing. I said, I'm willing to die for this fucking team. Like, you don't understand what it meant to me. I didn't even get a chance to put pads on.
Oh,
you guys cut me before I could do what I know I can fucking do.
Yeah.
And I'm like fucking veins popping out. I'm losing my goddamn mind. And they're both just like kind of taken back a little bit, but like also listening to me.
Yeah.
Because I think I looked like I was going to kill him.
They were probably like,
they were like, shit. But like, I was freaking them out. But like, I was in the best shape of my life at that point. I was training hard. I was
and
big.
You had just lifted. You're
lifted,
pumped.
bro. I had shit going through me. But anyways, at the end of it, he looks down, he shakes my hand, and he goes, "You've got my word. We're going to re-sign you, give you another chance." Mm-hmm. And then fucking never did.
Never did.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the crazy thing is leading up to that, my agent the whole time was telling me, and the running backs coach was telling me, we might bring you back at some point. Like, you're on the board. If we need someone, we're considering bringing you back. Like, hold tight, keep working out. So I thought this was the thing that was going to push it over the edge, to be like, let's at least give this guy a chance and put him on special teams, or fucking just give him a chance, give him a week in pads and see what happens.
He's a passionate guy.
Give him a fucking...
It's nice to hear that kind of, where you saw him and I feel like if I was in that situation, I might be like defeated, but you were like, I'm going to go get this shit back.
That's what you have to do in life, no matter what you're doing. Look at you fucking in your goddamn fucking room setting up a pod. Dude, this is what you need to do.
I should have a more attitude about, like, there's a bunch of comedians moving to town, and I've been thinking about, I need to try to get my resources to connect with them, be like, I want to produce before they can connect with some other guy.
Absolutely.
It's like, let me fucking do it, because I fucking care about that shit.
Who gives a shit, dude? Let him take a fucking nap.
I'm about to confront Rex Ryan.
Literally do that in your fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's what it is, because life isn't going to just happen for you. You've got to, at certain points, you got to fucking like do it. You've got to put yourself in the right place. I need
fucking Bang energy drink.
I didn't want to plug it at the beginning, but I'm sponsored by Bang. So like,
dude, I already had a drink sponsorship that I'm launching next week, but I might switch to this. I might switch to purple Bang energy drinks.
Yeah, it's the purple haze. That's what I got for you.
Purple haze.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Isn't that thoughtful? Matt Taylor just brought a fucking...
He gave me Topo...
You
brought me a
Topo
gift
Chico.
too. I didn't even think about it.
It's not a... I mean, I just bought 2 of them and I was like...
It's all drink. Matt Boyd, my first unofficial guest, he brought me a Red Bull. So everybody's bringing... I enjoy the taste of Red Bull more, but this did something to me.
It's good shit, dude.
We talked about... I was tense before this, and I was
we're fucking
I was
loose,
looking...
baby.
I know. I was worried a little bit. I was like, oh, it's going to be tense for me. I hope it's a good interview.
Yeah.
I mean, I have such a good... Like, this is just episode 2 of guests.
Yeah.
I have such a positive outlook in the future that my guests are going to have all these really interesting stories.
Yeah.
How crazy. You played with Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
You know, experienced with Rex Ryan, the way that you got these opportunities for yourself.
Yeah.
That's I love stories like that, dude.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I'm glad I'm so happy you came on the podcast today.
No,
Thank you for being one of my first guests.
Dude, I appreciate you. And here's the thing. I would love to do it again. And maybe Rex Ryan lives in town.
He lives in Nashville?
He lives in Nashville. If I see him anywhere, I'm going to form tackle him, and that's going to be a whole nother story.
Go wait at taco shops for his ass.
I work at a taco joint, dude.
You're waiting for the day.
I'm fucking waiting for this fucking giant motherfucker to walk in.
So he does all that stuff remotely. All this correspondence he does with news.
I know he has a home here, and like he just travels and shit. But like he literally has a place here, and I think about it all the time. I'm like, I'm going to be on World Star. I'm going to be on something. I'm going to be just from tackling this dude and beating the shit out of him.
You know what I do want to do? Do you know Trent Dilfer? Do you know who he is?
I do.
He coaches at a really great high school here or something, right? I want to try to get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what would be crazy? If I had you back on and we could get Rex Ryan to Zoom us or do a FaceTime call. Dude. That's probably a crazy long shot.
Remember me.
I'm not even kidding. I'm going to look. It's in my goals to try to get Trent Dilfer as a guest because he's in town, or just a short interview for a clip on a podcast.
Great idea.
And I want to, through him, maybe I can get a little validity.
Yeah.
I mean, he might not give me the time of day, but I'm trying to get. I know he won't.
Eventually.
But I'm trying to find a way to get into the sports
ESPN,
thing.
Bro.
I know. But he's like a crazy, like, I'm trying to shoot a little bit on these guests. You know?
You should. You should be reaching for people. Get who you can.
I mean, I'm not going to get him like for an hour and a half. I know that he would never. But like, I know that I could get him. I could probably get him for 10 minutes.
In this time, you might, because people are just sitting in their house fucking playing with themselves.
He's probably maybe in a few months, like maybe in the off season or something.
Yeah, not a bad
But he's
idea.
connected to a lot of media guys. How crazy would it be to have like a segment? I definitely want you to come back on. You know, I want to have some recurring.
Maybe
guests
it's it's like a Dr. Phil situation where you just like moderate like me talking to Rex and like him explaining why they let me go, and then me like knowing the real reason, and then me still like not accepting it. And
I'm like, Rex, you want to be truthful with Corey?
Thing,
okay, you want to tell him why you told him you're going to give him a chance? You never gave him a chance.
And like we have this whole dude, that'd be fucking hilarious.
So on this day, how old are you today?
I'm 30.
You're 30 years old.
Yeah.
Do you have any aspiration that you will play professional football? Do you think you'll get out? Do you because I know you must have still a crazy competitive mindset in life. Do you think in your mind, because I thought, even as I told you how bad I was at sports, I thought I was going to be Michael Jordan when I was a kid.
Sure.
I think every kid that can be a little delusional in sports when they're young.
Yeah.
I bet in your mind, do you think you'll play football again, or you think there's a chance?
Here's the thing. Given players opting out right now, there's a chance that Tim Tebow might have to cancel his Zoom Bible camp that he's going to be doing in the fall. Like he might be coming out to play. I don't think that I will have another chance to play professional football. Do I keep myself like 70% ready? Yeah, I still train like 5-6 days a week.
Hell yeah.
And I think about that moment.
70% ready at all times.
I do, dude. I think it depends on how much I drink on the weekends after a comedy show.
Alka-Seltzer on standby.
It depends on how much Alka-Seltzer I have coursing through my veins. But no, it's like I have this like doing comedy. You're out at the clubs late. You're doing your thing when it was going, and like I lost a lot because I wasn't focusing on playing sports. But now that things have kind of backed off, I've gotten in the gym a little bit more. I'm training a little bit harder. But once again, if you're not playing if I'm not playing a sport, I'm not putting 600-700 pounds on my back and trying to fucking squat it or bench like stupid weights. I'm just like, I'm working to work out to stay healthy. But if someone was like, hey, we can get you a workout, can you be ready in a couple months? Absolutely. I could be I'm 30 years old. I'm still in good shape. Like my body's not that beat up. I think I could. I don't think I will.
I'm sorry about these fucking flies, dude.
It's fine, dude.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I don't think I will, but you never know.
Yeah, dude. Well, I believe in you. I think you'll do it. I
appreciate that.
Honestly, I think you can. Well, if you want to do it and you find yourself in
I love comedy. I love doing stand-up.
You'd rather be invested in being a comic.
Dude, because I don't have to worry about fucking having headaches every single day. Yeah. I mean, stand-up presents its own levels of stress that I'm still like figuring out and handling and learning, because it's a fucking impossible. It's impossible to get really good at stand-up and be relevant and do all the things you need to do in today's day and age. So, and a lot of us are just starting out doing it. So it's a new challenge. I like this challenge more. I'm out of my comfort zone with a lot of things, but yeah, man, I would rather, if I had the choice right now to be really successful in stand-up, which is also a pipe dream, but then also like be a pro athlete, I think I would pick stand-up, because you're more of an individual. You have creative freedom. You're not answering to, you're answering to certain people. Sure, you have agents and stuff, but you're not like dealing with fucking crazy football coaches every single day and like worried and stressed and worried about getting cut. Like your work will speak for itself. If you're good, people will book you and you'll have whatever you want. If you're not, it's on you and you have to evolve.
You get to kind of be player, coach, and GM, and own
which is
your everybody.
Which is way better. And it's more fun, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. If I ran out of that fucking stadium in Buffalo in front of all my friends and family and played, that probably would have been the most incredible feeling ever. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. Doing really well at a big club or even a small club or just any show that you do really well and you have an impact on people, they come up to you and they say, I really like that. You took us away from our day. We just were having fun. And it's just like that moment reminds you why you do anything, really. Yeah. Like that's worth it. So I like that feeling so much more than the stress of, trying to play pro sports.
And I think that's a great perspective to have. I know it's hard, like when you have dreams that you're really trying to pursue, and you were really like you were right there pursuing that shit, like hard, even like people with dreams, like as far as dreams go, you're there at the top level of achieving them, you know?
Yeah.
So I bet like to figure out you want to do comedy and to make a decision to adjust, that takes like some willpower to change your own mind of like, oh, I'm gonna do a new path. So that's like, dude. But that's great. Like I love that. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
really,
but I'm like in a way different area.
No, but that's what we all have to do. You got to pivot. You got to find it. It was an accident for most. I mean, a lot of people do an open mic and they're like, if they like it and it goes well, they keep doing it. That's what happened to me. I moved here, hadn't done stand up before. I moved to Nashville. Always wanted to, but I'm like, my friends are like, you got to do this open mic. Yeah, do it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I did 3 minutes. I was fucking wasted, and people laughed. And then the rest of the comics were like, come to this open mic. Go here. And I just kept doing it. And like. That's, then that's, you just keep doing it if you want. And, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of life.
That's a beauty. And I think it's a great way to end the podcast.
Dude, I love it, man.
Well, thanks for being here, dude.
No, thank you for doing what you do.
It's really been such a great conversation. I've enjoyed
Appreciate it.
I'm glad today sucked, and to have this conversation with a friend and stuff is a lot of fun.
Fuck Rex Ryan. Fuck Zach Townsend. Matt Taylor's cool. I don't know what else to say.
And follow you on, or what's your name on Instagram?
Knox50C, if you want to check me out.
At KNOX50C.
Cool. And that's it, man.
So, yeah, I'm going to let you get off to your gig at the Comedy Bar.
Appreciate
Thanks for
you.
coming by, dude. You're the man.
Problem.
Thanks for coming by my room again. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you share it with somebody. You know, this was a really good episode. Let people know what the fuck is going on. So, thanks so much. Thanks for coming to my room. I'm David Chastain. Thank y'all so much.
Good shit, man.